This video will show some basic switch port configurations that can be made. By default, the ports on the switch are set to automatically figure out the duplex, the speed, and the MDIX setting. We can manually set this if we want to. We know that a switch can operate in full duplex, which means it can send and receive at the same time. This allows a device plugged into the switch to have dedicated access to that switch and essentially double the bandwidth that we're rated at, in which we can communicate between that device and the switch. We can also manually set these things if we want to. This isn't something that normally needs to be done, but I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. If I go to my global configuration and get into one of my interfaces on the switch, for example Fast Ethernet 01, or I could do Fast Ethernet 18, it doesn't matter, any one of the switch ports. I have the command Duplex. If I type my question mark here, I can see that I can do duplex auto, duplex full, or duplex half. As we said, switches can operate in full duplex, so typically we would want to do duplex full. In certain situations, we may need to force it down to half duplex. Maybe this switch is plugged into a legacy style hub. We may need to do a duplex of half. The duplex auto command will automatically determine the type of duplex that it can operate in. It will communicate with the connecting device and determine what is the best duplex mode to operate in. And the duplex auto is what it's set to by default. We also have the speed command. We can set the speed of this port of the switch. This particular switch can either be 10 megabits per second, 100 megabits per second, or auto. So if I wanted to force it down to 10 megabits per second, I can do a speed 10. I could do a speed 100 on this switch, or again the default of speed auto. There's the MDIX setting. It used to be that when we connected like a switch to a switch or a switch to a PC, that we had to have the correct cable. Usually like devices connected to one another were a crossover cable. A switch to switch was a crossover. A router to router through fast Ethernet ports was a crossover. PC to PC, that was a crossover. Unlike devices such as a PC to a switch would be a straight through, or a switch to a router would be a straight through. With the MDIX setting, we can use whatever type of cable we want to make our connection, and it will automatically determine which sending and receiving pins should be used. So we no longer have to go and scrounge up a crossover cable to connect a switch port to a switch port. We can just grab any cable, connect the switches together, and through the MDIX setting, it will automatically figure out that those are two switches connected together, adjust the sending and receiving pins to make that cable look and work as a crossover, and we will be able to communicate between those like devices no problem. So for that, it's the MDIX command. MDIX, hit my question mark here, I only have the one option, and that is auto. So 3 different commands here we went through in this video. The duplex, where you can set it to full or half. The speed, where you can set it to 10, 100, or maybe 1,000 if it's a gigabit per second connection. And then the MDIX. And all of those have an auto setting, which it's set to by default to automatically determine these 3 things. Again, this is not something that we would normally need to configure on each switch port, but those options are there and available for you if you need to. Thanks for watching.